Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad-gita as it is. Chapter 9, text 14, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya. Jai. Satatam kirtayanto mam.
Satatam kirtayanto mam.
Yatantascha judakataha.
Yatantascha judakataha.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya.
Namasyantascha mam bhaktya.
Nityayukta upasate.
Nityayukta upasate.
This verse is in reference to the previous verse, in which Lord Krishna discusses Mahatma, or great soul. Who is a great soul will be understood differently by different people with different angles of vision. For people interested in earning a lot of money, someone like a Rockefeller or Bill Gates will be considered a Mahatma. For someone interested in playing football, Maradona. No, he's out of date. Alright, someone else. Ellen, he's a long time out of date. So we all joined a long time ago. And then for people who are interested in jumping and shouting and making a lot of noise in the name of music, let's make Jagger. So many different kinds of Mahatmas. In Poland, just yesterday I saw them advertising some beer. Beer. And in the advertisement it showed a guy with boxing gloves and a huge body. And the beer was advertised as very strong. So the idea is if you drink this very strong beer, you'll become a very strong person. And thus you'll become a Mahatma among the beer drinkers. And in your next life you'll become a buffalo. Have buffaloes here? You have a bull. You can become a bull. You want to be big and strong? You become an elephant. So these are different kinds of Mahatmas. But actually a real Mahatma is someone who glorifies Krishna. Everyone is Atma. Everyone is an individual person. Mahatma means a great person. The really great person is Krishna. You'll find in the Vishnu Sahasranam, in the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, one of the names is Mahatma. So Krishna is the really great person. He is Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Rajo Nityanam. There are many different living beings. There is one supreme, that is Krishna. But one who glorifies Krishna, he also becomes known as a Mahatma. Everyone has a tendency to glorify someone else. If you don't glorify Krishna, you'll glorify some fool, rascal and being. There's no benefit in glorifying a being. By glorifying a being, you also become a being. You think that those who are demoniac, they think that it's very good to become a being. Just like you see, there are still people glorifying Hitler. They think he was a very great person. He had all the right ideas. He was just a little unlucky, that's what we lost the war. But never mind, we shall continue to be Nazis. So among such people, they think, among these skinhead Nazis, they think that to become a Mahatma, you should kick people in the head and beat them to death. Then they'll become a Mahatma. So they're glorifying Hitler, or they're glorifying Mick Jagger, or they're glorifying some fools rascal. And in this way they also become demons. That tendency is there to glorify someone. But if we glorify Krishna, we become purified like Krishna. Why should we not glorify Krishna? He is actually the great person. Any greatness that anyone has in this world is only derived from Krishna. And what is the greatness of anyone in this world anyway? Actually, it's pathetic. You see, even Hitler is one of the most powerful persons of this century. But actually his ambitions were childish. I will conquer the world. Now what are you going to accomplish? You're going to die in a few years. Even if you conquer so many countries, you have to die. Then you become a frog or a dog. You have no memory that I was Hitler. I was a great conqueror. See, Prabhupada, you see this rascal Nehru, Pandit Nehru. He struggled all his life to become the leader of India, the first Prime Minister of so-called independent India. So he was so powerful, wherever he went, people would say, Pandit Nehru ki jai ho. And he was enjoying that, thinking, I am so great. But in his next life, what happened? One astrologer explained that there was a man in Sweden and 2 dogs, and one of them was Pandit Nehru. Now that dog already died and he's gone somewhere else. So what was the use of becoming a so-called great person of this material world? Big Prime Minister, and next life, come here boy, sit down boy, take some food. What is the greatness of this material world? You see, even this big Jagga, he must be almost 60 years old now. Still he has to jump around just to earn some money. If he doesn't, he's not satisfied. I can't get no satisfaction. He's got enough money and still he's not satisfied. So actually all these so-called great people of this material world, they're all slaves of their senses. They're all controlled by their senses. I was reading. What's that word? Useless? Senses.
На английском полезно, на английском useless тоже слово.
So your senses are useless unless they're engaged in the service of Krishna. Unless your senses are engaged in the service of Krishna, then they are useless.
That's impossible.
All the people are serving the useless senses. Therefore they're all useless. I was reading a useless newspaper some time ago. There are many useless things, many interesting useless things in the newspaper. It's very interesting to read, just to give some different examples about how useless the material world is. But that doesn't mean that you should all study the newspaper for 2 hours every day. That doesn't mean that you should all study the newspaper for 2 hours every day. Take it very seriously. How are you reading the newspaper? Because Swami said, sitting on the Vyasa Swami, he said everyone should read the newspaper 3 hours every day. Anyway, I was reading in the newspaper about a sub-Mahatma, or an almost Mahatma, Mick Jagger's sidekick. Sidekick means his not very important associate, by the name of Bill Wyman. You don't know? He's the drummer in the Rolling Stones since they began. Okay, so this was a few years ago. When he was 51 years old, he fell in love with a 16-year-old girl. So he divorced his, I don't know whether it was third wife or fourth wife, anyway, and married a 16-year-old girl who was young enough to be his granddaughter almost. Anyway, 2 weeks later he divorced her. Cost him about £2 million, the whole thing. So these are the Mahatmas of the material world. So it's better not to glorify it. It's better not to glorify these rascals. It's better to glorify Krishna. Because Krishna is the ultimate object of glorification. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. What does that mean? Who can say what that means? So many times you've heard that Krishna is the absolute truth. What does that mean? Who can say? Any suggestions? Anyone say anything? The right answer to all asked questions. To all questions which one can ask. Krishna is the answer to all questions you can ask. Yeah, that implies that Krishna is the cause of all causes. He's the ultimate principle. You're going to say something?
The one from whom everything comes.
Very good, yeah. Actually, you can write millions of books describing how Krishna is the absolute truth. You can write millions of books describing how Krishna is the absolute truth. So both these answers that have been given are good answers. The absolute truth means that upon which everything else depends. All other truths are dependent upon other factors, as Einstein understood to some degree. I am sitting here, but that is dependent upon the chair being here. So everything is dependent upon everything else, but everything is ultimately dependent upon Krishna, because he is the ultimate cause of all causes. At the same time, Krishna is not dependent upon anything, he is totally independent. Scientists study the laws of nature, and they don't understand how all these laws of nature come to being, nor how they are maintained. That is by the power of Krishna. Ekam shena sthito jagat. Vishtabhyahamidam kutsam ekam shena sthito jagat. Krishna says that everything within the creation that is maintained by a tiny fraction of my energy. And everything comes from Krishna. That is another definition of it. It's a simultaneous definition of the Absolute Truth. Because all these definitions meet together in the Absolute. This is described in the Upanishads. Yato va imani bhutani jayante. The Absolute Truth is that from which everything emanates. Yena jatani jivanti. The Absolute Truth is that within which everything exists. Yat prayat yavisham vishamti. He is that into which everything again enters. Tad vijigyasastva, that is the proper subject for inquiry into. Tad brahmeti, that is Brahma, that is the Absolute Truth. This is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tad vijigyasastva, tad brahmeti. This is the subject of inquiry, this is the Brahma. So Vedanta Sutra begins that Atato Brahma Jigyasa, now we have attained the form of life, we should inquire into the Absolute Truth. Yes. What is that Absolute Truth? That is the next sutra. Janmadhyasya yataha. The Absolute Truth is the source of all emanation. Janma adi means Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, creation, maintenance and destruction. So this is the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadhyasya yatondriyat vitiratas chajesh vavidnya swarat. The Absolute Truth is the source of everything. He is independent, he is all cognizant. These are the symptoms of the Absolute Truth. It was he who imparted the Vedic knowledge to Brahma at the beginning of time. He is such subtle. Achintya tattva, avichintya tattva. Such a non-understandable subject matter. Even the great demigods cannot understand. Therefore the demigods, they simply praise him. Praise him. Materialistic people, they praise the demigods. Shiva, Durga, Brahma, Chandra, Indra. What are the demigods themselves doing? They are praising Krishna. Yang Brahma, Varunendra, Rudra, Maruta, Stunvanti, Jai Sevai. In very transcendental hymns, great demigods, Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Varunendra, Rudra, Shiva, Maruta, they're all praising Krishna. Vedai Sangha Padakramapam Shadai Gayanti Ansamagaha. All the Vedas, including the Upanishads, they're all praising Krishna. Jnana Avastita Tatyatena Manaso Pashyanti Yam Yogino. All the great yogis, they meditate upon Krishna. Yatsyantam Navidu Surasura Devaya Tasmai Namaha. And his glories, you cannot reach the end of them. Neither the demigods, nor even the great intelligent demons, with all their intelligence, they cannot reach the end of the glories of Krishna. Therefore, Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Therefore, we simply offer our obeisances to him. The great demigods, they cannot properly understand Krishna. They misunderstand. Tejovari Madangata Janimaya Tuchisago Musha. He is misunderstood, just like sometimes you see a mirage. You mistake one thing to be something else. Sometimes Indra or Brahma, they mistake Krishna to be some ordinary person. Brahma, Arba Brahma, Namna, Srena, Sada, Nirastakuhakam, Satyam, Ram. He is eternally situated in his own abode. Sada, Nirastakuhakam. He is free from all contamination. contamination, illusion, these things cannot touch Krishna. He is Satyam Param, He is the Supreme Absolute Truth. Therefore it is He who is to be meditated. It is He who is to be heard about. He who is to be glorified. It is He who is to be remembered. Even though it is not possible to fully understand Krishna, because He is Avichinta Tattva. That means that even if you have very good intelligence, you cannot properly understand Krishna. So it's described that Krishna, He is the original person. And the yogis, they meditate upon Him. But even in millions of years, they can hardly just reach to the tip of the toes of His lotus feet. Because Krishna is not to be understood by the material intelligence. He is avichinta tattva. By your brain power, you cannot reach Krishna. Yogeshvara hridi vichinta. That's saying what comes. Yogeshvara hridi vichinta adadabodham. The great, very powerful yogis, within their hearts, they try to meditate upon Krishna with their tremendously expanded intelligence. But still they cannot understand Krishna. And even Krishna cannot understand Krishna. Then you may say, well, Krishna is so great, surely He can understand Himself. Yes, of course He can. But the thing is that Krishna's glories are always expanded. So if you say that even if Krishna understands His own glories, those glories again expand. Yeah. So He can never keep up with His own glories. Because His mercy is always expanding to His devotees more and more. All the devotees, they're experiencing the presence of Krishna in their lives. And sometimes the devotees have such realizations of Krishna's that even Krishna Himself thinks, actually it's better to be a devotee than to be me. All the devotees are trembling in ecstasy, remembering me. I'm also trembling in ecstasy, remembering them. But it seems they're more ecstatic remembering me than I am ecstatic remembering them. Even though my love for my devotees is unlimited, their love for me is more. Therefore Krishna feels Himself incomplete. Even though He's the Supreme Complete. All completes, everything emanates from Him completely. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnamudapchakam. All the completely manifested universes emanate from Him. Still He remains complete. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. He is always complete, even though He's always expanding His glory. He doesn't become depleted. He doesn't become, He doesn't decrease in His value. So even Krishna is desiring to understand who is Krishna. He's thinking, all the devotees are always glorifying me. I must be quite nice. What is it like to be a devotee? So he also thinks, let me become a devotee. Therefore he becomes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In his incarnation as Ananta, he tries to find out the limits of his own glory. Ananta means he has no end. He is unlimited. Ananta has unlimited mouth and unlimited intelligence and unlimited power of circumspection, unlimited power of sensory perception. And he has been enumerating the glories of Krishna since time immemorial with unlimited mouths, and he never repeats the same glory twice. But that is still Ananda, it never comes to the end. Because there is no end to the glories of Krishna. No one can reach the end of Krishna's glory. So Krishna thinks, there's no end to my glories, still my devotees are taking great pleasure in discussing those glories. So Krishna is thinking that to be a Mahatma, devotee, there is a more relishable position, even than to be Krishna Himself. But to relish the position of Krishna. But therefore, he takes the role of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahayamna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna, not different. Anta Krishna Bhakti Gaura. She is inside He's Krishna. But his being Krishna has been covered over by the fair complexion of Radharani. Radha Bhavit Yuti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Sarupa. He is Krishna, but he has accepted the mood of Radharani. Radharani is stronger than Krishna because she is the personification of devotional service. And the only thing stronger than Krishna is devotion to Krishna. Because Krishna agrees to be subordinate to his devotees. He is so much satisfied by his devotees, he is so much indebted by his devotees, that he agrees to become subordinate. Not simply agrees, but he cannot but be subordinate to them. Because Krishna has promised that however much one surrenders to me, I will reciprocate with them. What is that verse? This is Krishna's promise. As much as you give yourself to me, I give myself to you. Or even, Prabhupada explained, if we make one step towards Krishna, Krishna will make 100 steps towards us. But in the case of the gopis, Krishna could not fulfill his promise. The gopis, they gave themselves so much to Krishna that Krishna could not reciprocate fully with them. Krishna said, you will have to be satisfied simply with your love for me, because I've no more anything to give to you. And Krishna was defeated by the gopis. In this way they controlled him. Even we read Krishna, young boy, baby, and the gopis, Mother Yashoda's age, they're singing and clapping their hands, and Krishna is dancing. Now who is that Krishna? This is the same Krishna who all the demigods are worshipping. The same Supreme Lord who people in all different religions are worshipping. It is the same Krishna who is controlling millions of universes. It is the same Krishna whose different expansion is Mahavishnu. When he breathed out, all the universes come from his body. Imagine.